Welcome to Rethink, the podcast that empowers you to challenge your existing beliefs and embrace new, more productive ways of thinking. Here at Rethink, we believe that the key to self-fulfillment lies in shattering old thought patterns and adopting new mindsets that support personal growth and empowerment. With expert guests and thought leaders from a wide range of fields, we explore strategies and insights that can help you achieve success and fulfillment in all areas of your life. From relationships to career, business ownership, and health, you are the source of your own success. We're just here to help you tap into your true potential and create a brighter future. So join us on the journey of personal growth and empowerment, and let's rethink what's possible for our lives. Let me start today by just asking a simple question. When was the first time, or when was the last time, you walked into a room and immediately you felt drained? You walked into a room, you immediately felt drained. Maybe you opened your phone, for example, and you instantly felt overwhelmed. It's not a coincidence. It's environmental programming. You are an energetic being. We are energetic beings, and our surroundings speak to our subconscious more than we realize. It's a lot going on that we don't realize that we can't pick up with our five senses. And when I first started to do this work, I didn't realize how many of my limiting beliefs were being reinforced daily by my environment, simply by my environment. Whether it was clutter, noise, certain people, could do a whole series on that one, or even the wallpaper on your phone. It's all feeding an outdated version of yourself, of you. So today, as we go through this particular podcast, it's day 10, your environment is programming you. That's what we're talking about today. We're shining the awareness on what's around you, your environment, how important it is for you to be aware and be intentional about what you have in your environment. So guys, welcome into the podcast. My name is Kelly. It's always my pleasure to welcome you into the podcast. I'm your host. And if this is your first time, guys, welcome aboard. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got 4 of the seasons to go through to listen to the podcast. So when you have the time, do that. Make sure right now, wherever you are and however you're listening to us, being on your mobile device or on your TV or wherever, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the podcast so you not forget who we are and where we are. Old timers, welcome back in. Thank you guys so much for supporting the podcast. Really do appreciate you. Thank you guys for adhering to my suggestions about going into the show notes and supporting the podcast. Thank you guys so much. If you ever have problems with accessing anything that we're talking about here on the show, just shoot me a text. You can do that in the show notes as well. Shoot me a message, comment or something like that. Say, hey, I'm trying to access this and I can't for some reason get a hold of it. Someone wanted to purchase our 31 Days to New Beginning. And she just shot me a note that said, hey, you were talking about this on the podcast and where can I find it? That sort of thing. And someone will respond. I'll respond. What else do we have? Yeah, just do that. Go into the show notes, appraise yourself of what we have available, and figure out how you can support the podcast. This is a community that you love. This is a community that you believe in and support, and you would like to support. Why not do that? Support the podcast. Thank you so much. We're on day 10, 30 days to 30 days to manifestation and monetization. We're on our way to creating a revenue stream, utilizing our passions and the things that we love to do. And we are starting at the beginning. And today we're talking about the importance of our environment. We're talking about the importance of our environment. It's critical because these are the foundational stages. And once we get to, the good part, if you will, in terms of creating a revenue and establishing the types of things that you love to do and how to be paid for them, all that's great, but if your foundational stuff is not in place, it can be very short-lived. So pay just as much attention to these first few podcasts as you do to the last, week and a half or 2 weeks, where we're going to really get into the meat and potatoes of things. All right. So what's the opportunity for today? If you're not actively choosing your environment, it is choosing your beliefs. It is. I have been doing this work for quite a while, and I've done some tests, if you will. And I suggest you do the same thing. Don't just believe everything on face value. You hear something, test it out, see if it works. As it relates to your environment, I believe wholeheartedly that the external is a picture, is an assimilation, is results of the internal. Let me give you an example. I have never met someone who is completely organized and with it, doesn't lose anything, but they have a very messy environment. Right? They got stuff on the dashboard in their car, their desk at work or at home, their closet, the clothes are everywhere, stuff. Usually what's taking place on the inside is expressing itself on the outside. I know several people who are, let's just say they're not the most well kept in terms of organization, and they lose stuff all the time. They seem to live in somewhat of a frantic type of mental space. Things can get really stressful really fast. And the reason, I believe, is because you're not really taking care of your environment. And it's easy to lose stuff. And it's easy to be disorganized. And it's easy to feel like you're missing something when you're in a space where you can't figure out what's going on because it's chaos. So, what's your environment like? Are you in alignment? Is your energy in alignment with your environment? You can be doing the inner work, but if your space, including your phone, your inner circle, even your schedules, if they're cluttered or chaotic, then your subconscious can stay in a survival mode. Many of us are organized, right? But our schedules are so chaotic. We're trying to run the kids here. We're trying to do this for work. And then we're also doing our side, hustle, or we're doing our entrepreneurship. Our schedules are so packed that we're using every little bit of short-term memory that we have. And then eventually that's going to run out. So we're going to talk about today some practices to kind of clean all that up. Here's what being overwhelmed may look like. Let's say, for example, your day starts off and you're in a messy room. That's your environment. You go to sleep, you didn't fold your clothes, you left the potato chip bag on the ironing board, your phone is not completely charged. It's just chaos. You start the day this way. Your mind is going to mimic that disorder. When your mind wakes up, remember how I said early on, it's important that we understand things. We need to understand how our brain operates, how our brain works. This is what your brain does. Your brain is in charge of making you aware of the things that are important in your environment. Let me say that again. Your brain is in charge of, one of the things it's in charge of is making you aware of the things in your environment. Why? If you go back to fight or flight, it wants to know, what do I need to be concerned about? Because my number one job is to keep this body alive. So if you have a very messy environment, although it's not fight or flight, if you have a very messy environment, your brain struggles to try and figure out, what in here do I need to make you aware of? That's why you can't find your keys, because your brain's trying to figure out, what is all this stuff? All right. So that's number one. Number two, you scroll social media the first thing in the morning. So many people fall into this trap. And you absorb the comparison and the anxiety that is innately involved in social media. If you can tell me one time, you can do this in the comments, so you can send me a text. If you can tell me one time you got on social media and you didn't feel some level of comparison, some level of anxiety, some level of stress. Yes, there are some funny things and some things you want to share with your friends, but there's all sorts of political this and that. There's all sorts of pressure as it relates to, somebody's life being better than yours, somebody being skinnier than you, somebody's husband doing way more for them than your husband is doing for you. Somebody's wife taking care of themselves way better than your wife's taking care of herself. All of these things are innately involved in social media. And what do? You cloud your environment with that first thing in the morning. This is before you're setting your intentions. This is before you journal. This is before you meditate. Even if it's a little after, it's a whole lot to deal with in the morning. Third example, you work in a very silent space with no energetic stimulus. Okay. You work in a very silent place. Let's say, during the pandemic, most of us work from home. And if you are like me, you're married and you got kids, you're not at the house by yourself. So even though it was, traumatic for everyone, I still believe that it was a little more traumatic for single people because they were at home for an extremely long period of time by themselves. I'm not just saying this. I know I am related to people who are single. My mom is a widower. And so she was there. She lives in a different state than I do. And so even though we constantly called and checked up, I could tell the difference between someone being in a home with other people, other stimuli, other people to talk to, as opposed to someone going 3, 6, 12 months, pretty much on their own. So let's say you work in an environment like that, where you pretty much a manager of processes and not people. Well, it could be easy for you to feel uninspired. You're not getting the interchange of energy with other people. So many people are like, man, I wish I worked at home all the time. Now, that's an acquired taste. I work at home, and I'm telling you, it takes a special person to be able to do this because, number one, you do more work at home than you do at the office. That's number one. People think it's the opposite, but it is not. Number two, you miss the interaction with other people. And a lot of times that's what you're running from. You're thinking, I don't want to deal with these people every day. Now, granted, some of the people you may not, but there are energy exchanges that are valuable when you're in a corporate environment. There simply are. So anyway, let's not get hung up on that. Those are 3 examples, and I don't know if you fall into any of those categories, but let's talk about ways to clean those up. Your environment, it holds clues, and it also holds the key to fast forwarding you into some level of transformation. So let's figure out where you are and let's figure out how to fix it. Here's the solution. The best solution, an energetic edit. Step number one, physical space audit. Let's take an audit of our physical space. Like right now, I'm at my desk, which is where I work, which is where I do my podcast, which is where I do a whole lot of stuff. And I've organized my space in a way where I can just easily do that. If I want a podcast, there's a light attached to my desk, attached to the camera, attached to the mic. Everything is in its own place. I've got multiple monitors. I've got my laptop, which is mobile. I've really thought this through, but it took me about 3 iterations to get to this level. My desk is one of those deals. If I need to stand up, I can just make it go up. If I need to sit down, I can sit down. I've got a comfortable chair. I've got a TV in my office if I want to turn on YouTube and watch people walk around Disney World, which is kind of my background noise most of the day. I've got a massage chair if I want to take a break and meditate and have a massage. This just didn't happen my first iteration. This took 3 or 4 iterations for me to get to this level. Now, having said that, I got more stuff on my desk than I need to have some days. Why? Because I'm working. And sometimes I'll leave papers sitting here because they're notes or because they are, or a bill or something that needs to be paid or something that someone gave me that I'm trying to reference to, right? And periodically, I'll just stop. There's no every 7 days or every 3 days or once a month. It's just I know when there's too much stuff on my desk, I stop what I'm doing and I clean it off. And I start back at square one. What do you see when you wake up? What do you see when you wake up? When you start your day in your room, what do you see when you wake up? Start your day with 3 things in your sightline that represent abundance and peace and power. So since I work from home, when I get up in the morning, I've been married. I've said this many times, been married for 30 years. Me and my wife have been together 30 years. So I'm used to her and she's used to me, and we're not the same, but we're not very different. I think I'm a little more organized than she is, but our room is pretty, organized, and she has a nightstand. I have a nightstand. And when I wake up, I obviously get out on my side of the bed. My practice is to meditate and do yoga and things like that in the morning while my wife is still asleep. I take my dogs out. So I've got a whole morning routine. But what do you have? What do you have? Do you start your day with something in your line of sight that says abundance, peace, or power? What I have that represents those are my practices. And so I journal, I read, and I exercise. What can you put in your line of sight that can represent abundance, peace, or power? Okay. Even if it's a book, you get up and you read that book for 5 minutes every morning. Does it represent abundance, peace, or power? That's step number one, a physical space audit. Number two, phone environment check. Unfollow or mute accounts that lower your vibration.
Let's take a quick break.
Hey guys, we're going to get you back to that exciting podcast very soon. But I wanted to break in and just let you know that we have relaunched, revamped, revitalized our 31 Days to New Beginning. It is a powerful step-by-step course. It is designed to help you to reset your mindset, to build new habits, and yes, create lasting positive change in your life. Over the span of 31 days, you'll be guided through daily lessons and journaling prompts and even actionable exercises that are going to help you to break free from limiting beliefs. It's going to help you to gain clarity on your goals and also help you to develop the confidence you're going to need to pursue your life's dreams. So whether you're feeling stuck or you're simply ready for a fresh start, the course, 31 Days to New Beginning, is going to provide you with the tools, the strategies, and the support that you're going to need to transform your life from the inside out. So why don't you start the journey today? Go over, click on 31 Days to New Beginning, and step into a new chapter of growth, of purpose, and fulfillment. Let's get back to our podcast. Oh boy, I can feel that just as deep. I'm just kidding. It seems like when you start talking about these days about how people use their phones, it's almost as sensitive as talking to people about what they eat or who they vote for or what kind of religion they have. When you start telling people what to do with their phones, it gets really serious. So take a deep breath and let's get through this. Unfollow. Yes, unfollow or mute accounts that lower your vibration. Add affirmations as wallpaper. Add affirmations as wallpaper. Create a folder called Vision Work for digital vision boards or goals. Create some sort of motivating notification. We get so many notifications throughout the day, email, text, etc., that we respond to so quickly. Create notifications for yourself that say, hey, remember to have a good day, or hey, you're awesome, or hey, you can do this. These sorts of things. Just make sure you are unfollowing accounts that are negative. Even if it's interesting or funny, if it is lowering your vibration, unfollow. I've had to do this. Sometimes I have followed people online and I thought, oh, this is interesting. But then once I got to the end, I didn't really feel great. Then I thought, this isn't interesting. This is lowering my vibration. So I went away from it. Also, things online where people are in tense discussion or fights or some sort of, these Karens and all this other stuff that's popular. Unfollow that stuff. It's all negative energy. Or I should say it this way. The suggestion here is to unfollow. You can obviously do what you want with your phone. But if you want to increase, your positive energy, I would unfollow. That's step number 2. Step number 3 is social energy audit. Social energy audit. Who do you spend most of your time with? Who do you spend most of your time with? Do they reinforce your growth or do they limit it? And man, I know this is a tough audit, right? This is a tough audit. Social energy audit. Because you want to be honest, okay? And let's say, for example, I've been with somebody, like I said, I've been with my wife for 30 some odd years. Let's say, man, she doesn't really reinforce my growth. She doesn't really make me feel great. Well, that would be tough for me to admit to myself, right? And I'm not saying that's true. What I'm saying is if you've been in long-term relationships or you with someone who you call your best friend, but they're super pessimistic, you're like, can't they just be optimistic? I don't want to cut them off as a friend. I still like to have them as a friend, but they're totally pessimistic all the time. You have to be truthful. Make room for voices that mirror your vision, that mirror the things that you want to do and not your past. Okay? So I said that to say, if you're in a long-term relationship, spend some time considering and being honest with yourself about who's doing what. Are they energy vampires? Or are they people pouring into you? Now, listen, sometimes people have bad days, right? I've been with my wife for 30 years. I've had mine. She's had hers. It's no indication that someone's not in your corner just because they're not optimistic every single day. Now, I think you understand that part. But overall, does your wife support? Does your husband support? Does your partner support your vision, your growth? Do you support theirs? This is both ways now. This is both ways. So who do you spend most of your time with? Maybe you're not in a long-term relationship. Maybe it's work. Maybe it's a coworker. Maybe it's a best friend. Maybe it's a fraternity or sorority person. Whoever it is, figure it out and determine if that person still needs to be in your life based on do they support your vision. Now, over my 50 years, I have had very close people that I'm going to say this, and it may sound a little weird, but I didn't make the decision necessarily to move away from them, but I did. So I just drifted away. I don't know any other way to explain it. It wasn't like just one day I said, okay, I can't be this person's friend anymore. But I found that less and less over time, I wanted to spend time with them as opposed to before I was with them all the time. But because I was changing, my consciousness was rising, I was becoming, more of a higher thinker. Some of the activities and some of the thoughts and some of the things that we used to say and do, I didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't find value in those things. I found value in other things. And so I moved on, and you get new sets of friends, or you get new types of people that you're going to hang around with, right? So that has happened to me, and maybe that's happened to you. So step 1 is physical audit space. Step 2 is the phone environment check. Step 3 is the social energy audit. And that one's very, very important. All of these are very, very important. Step 4, soundtrack to your life. Background matters. It's important that you use high energy. It's important that you use high vibrational music, frequency playlists, affirmations. All of this can subtly rewire your daily vibration. All of this can subtly rewire your total vibration. What types of stuff are you listening to? Sometimes I hear some of this. So-called music. Y'all can be at the gas station or at the red light or somewhere, and somebody will pull up next to me or something, and oh my goodness, it's just terrible. It's just absolutely low vibration. It is some of the most negative stuff. I don't want to get into it here because I'm gonna go off on a dad tangent. But it's some of the worst stuff you can put into your brain. If this was food, I don't know how you survive. I don't know how your body survives it. And to me, it's more important than food because it's going into your mind. And we're listening to this stuff. It is completely negative. It is so horrifically negative. And it's a lot of times it has a very violent overtone. It's some of the worst stuff I've ever heard. And I'm just surprised it's even played on radios and stuff like that. But obviously, this is not this type of stuff that you want to listen to. Even if you're working out, you say, oh, Kelly, it could be okay. I'm just in the gym. I'm just working out. No, it's not okay. It really is not, because you develop a pattern of thinking that this is okay and is low vibrational type of music. Now, you're an adult. You can listen to whatever you want to listen to. The point of this podcast and of this series is to get you aligned with your passions and your life's work. Why? So you can monetize it, create revenue, live the life that you want to live, and you can feel secure and you can feel confident about yourself. That type of music, in my opinion, doesn't play a role. It doesn't play a role. If you went out with your friends one night and y'all happen to go to a rooftop or to a club somewhere and they're playing it, then of course okay, that's one night. But if you're listening to this on the way to work and on the way home and at the gym and then at your house, yeah, it's low vibrational. That's step number 4. Step number 5, intentional triggers. All energy must be audited. So add posted affirmations to your mirror, to your fridge, even maybe to the windshield of your car, your workspace, wherever you are. Set reminders. I already said this before, on your phone, notifications that say positive things that are going to encourage you. Things that are going to encourage you. Slip a note in your jacket pocket. You ever put on the jacket you hadn't worn in a while? This happened to me the other day, and I was going to the store to get some gum, and I noticed after leaving the store with a pack of gum, I reached into my pocket to put the gum in my pocket, and I had another pack of gum already in there. And I said, oh, now I got 2 packs of gum, so this is great. Slip a note in your jacket pocket or in your pocketbook or somewhere in your, glove compartment or somewhere that you fool around often, and just leave a note for yourself that will remind you that you're already living it. You're already living the life that you want to live. Okay? Remind yourself you're already living the life that you want to live, and you want to remain in that vibration because you're going to attract the things to you that will substantiate that, the things that will support that. Okay? So, the fastest way to upgrade your mindset, which is very key, the fastest way to upgrade your mindset is to upgrade what's around you. That includes your social media environment, the music you're listening to, the friends that you have, just your simple surroundings in terms of cleanliness and orderliness. When your environment reflects your future self, your mind and your energy can align faster with that reality. Okay? Another reason, I don't want to hone on this too long, another reason you don't want to continue to listen to negative music is because music is one of the most powerful ways to change your vibration. Music is highly vibratory. We've said it before on the podcast. Very seldom have you listened to music where it didn't change the way you feel. It would be up or down, good or bad. That's why they have soundtracks to movies. That's why radio stations are very popular. That's why music videos are so popular. That's why kids gravitate to songs. Kids don't know their multiplication tables, but they can repeat every word to the most horrendous rap song you've ever heard because it's attractive to them. Okay, so you now are aware of that. Now, how can you turn this into your favor? Find a song that's very affirming and there's high energy, and then play that. Use it for good. Use it for good. All right. Summary. Here we go. A morning scan. Look around you and adjust one thing that feels low vibration. If you wake up in the morning and you say, you know what? I don't like the way these clothes are hanging off my weight bench. Then get the clothes off your weight bench. That doesn't look organized. That makes me feel like the room's messy. I woke up in a messy mindset. No. Clean that up. The first line of sight for me in the morning, as I sleep next to 2 windows, I look outside, I see the sun shining. I say to myself, today's going to be a good day. Today's going to be a great day. Today's going to be a great day. Okay? Midday reset. Clean a small space or a digital folder and refresh it. Make it look fresh. Make it look focused. I love going around my house. In the last month, I've repurposed 2 things I built. I built 2 things, and they were not really being used for what I built them for. I'll give you one example. I had a bench slash chest in my garage that I built out of wood fence posts, and inside were gardening type activity, shoes, even dog towels and stuff that I was just kind of keeping in my garage, but I never went in and out of it. And it was a nice bench and I wasn't doing anything with it. And so in my living room, my grandkids had toys everywhere. And I said, you know what? I'm going to clean this out and I'm going to paint it and let my wife decorate it because she's super awesome with like crafts and stuff like that. And I said, we'll put it in the living room and this is going to be the new toy chest. And it looks fantastic. So I'm sure there's something around your house that can be repurposed or cleaned. The space can be cleaned, can be used for something else, something more useful that gets you closer to your goal. Okay. When you start to align with your goal, you begin to see things differently. I walked past that wood bench hundreds of times. I built that thing like 3 years ago. Okay. Right during COVID and after, I was building all sorts of wood projects. And so I built it. I was using it, but not quite using it to its full capacity. And I'm sure you've got things around your house, your apartment the same way. Number 3, audio activation. Play empowering podcasts like Rethink Podcast. I'm just kidding, but not really. Play empowering podcasts. Listen to empowering soundtracks. Listen to things that align with what you believe. What are your new beliefs? If you don't believe, that you should be talking about people when they're not present, then I don't know, read books and listen to things that stay in that type of mindset that keeps you in the mindset of positivity. Okay. Not that paint a picture that's untrue or some sort of magic thinking or woo woo, but something that supports you and says, hey, here's a tool you can use in your life. We know stuff is not completely correct, but change the way you look at it. Take this tool, do this way, and this can help you. That's what I would do. That's what I've done. Step number 4, social detox. Mute or block accounts that drain you. We've already said that. And then lastly, nighttime prep. What we want to do is survey our day. Set out one item that supports your morning routine. Set out one. I keep my journals right by my bed. You should keep your journal by your bed. Maybe you've already laid your what you're going to wear out for tomorrow. That's one less decision you have to make. Maybe you put a sticky note on your nightstand or on your mirror. So when you get up in the morning, you remind yourself that you're going to have an awesome day because you're an awesome person. Okay? Man, it's a good podcast. Go back, listen to it again. And let's get ready for day 11. Day 11, what are we talking about on day 11? Let's see. Day 11 is visualize like a scientist. Visualize like a scientist. We're going to be talking about the effects of visualization and how it is tied to neurology and how it works and why it works. So I hope that you've not, see, I'm going to the past. I know that you've enjoyed the podcast today. So I want you to come back tomorrow to enjoy another podcast. We're going to be on day 11. We're moving closer to our 30 days of manifestation and monetization. Don't forget to like and subscribe and do all that kind of good stuff. But if you think this can help someone that you know, okay, a friend, family member, loved one, or associate, make sure you send it to them and just tell them about the podcast. Thank you guys. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye. That's all for today's episode of Rethink. We hope that you've enjoyed this exploration of new ideas and perspectives and found valuable insights and strategies that you can apply to your life. Remember, you are the source of your own success and fulfillment. And by embracing new ways of thinking, you can unlock your true potential and yes, create the life that you truly desire. Now, if you've enjoyed this episode, we encourage you to support the podcast by sharing it with your friends, your family members, your loved ones, and associates, and even your followers on social media. Also, leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Lastly, don't forget to check out our show notes for free downloads and empowering ebooks that can help you on your journey of personal growth and empowerment. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We look forward to exploring more ideas and insights with you in the next episode of Rethink.